Hi everyone. Today we are going to be showing you how to remove a wheel that's stuck on your car. We're also going to shed some light on some common misinformation that is not only wrong, but also could be dangerous. Okay, let's get to it.
How's it going, Joe? Stuck?
Yes?
Joey, take the big hammer and just hit the rubber.
No, the rubber's going to absorb the impact.
Yeah, but it helps. No, not the rim, not the rim. Joey. Okay, so put the nuts back on.
Well, maybe you could hit from the other side.
No, we're gonna do something different here. There's actually another trick I want to show. So put the nuts back on, finger tight, all of them. Okay, so what we've done here is we've put the nuts back on hand tight, backed them all off one turd, and this is not my favorite method of doing this. The reason I want to show Joe this is because if you're stuck out on the highway or out on a dirt road or somewhere and you need to change a tire and your tire is seized onto the car and you can't find the right size rock or tool to beat the tire off, this is a way that, you know, in that situation is your best chance to break this tire free. So this tire, like I said, it's seized on there really hard. We couldn't get it off beating it with a hammer. So backed off the nuts just a tiny little bit, and Joey's going to go out and abuse it. You ready, son? Let's do it. Okay, so for your back wheels, what you want to do is you want to drive forward and then hit your emergency brakes. Now drive backwards and hit your emergency brakes. So for your front wheels, you just drive forward and hit the brakes. And then drive backwards and hit the brakes. And that's it. If it doesn't work once, do it again a little more aggressively. But usually once will do it. Let's see if that worked. So just back them off a little bit and see if you can move the tire. Give it another shake, or another lift, yeah. Give it another shake.
Is that another one of your mechanic terms?
It is. It's important to know the right terms. Okay, that's good.
Hold on.
That didn't do anything, did it?
The top half's loose.
Is it? Let me see.
Well, the top of it's loose.
Let me see. Oh, it's loose. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's... So we did something that we wouldn't highly recommend unless you were stranded. We loosened them just enough that we can drive the car. And we did a hard start, a hard stop, and that seemed to have done the trick.
And why did we do that method, even though we don't recommend it, or it's not our favorite method?
Well, I just said if you're stranded.
Right, if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Or if you're in a hurry.
Yeah, that might be your only hope of getting the tire off and getting a tire changed when you really need to. So, normally I like to get a long 4x4, run it right under the car, and with this just barely touching the ground, put the 4x4 up against the tire and go whack it with a sledgehammer from the other side. There is not an easier way to do it. But, yeah, if we had more time today, I should actually show that, because I don't think there is an easier way to do it. It doesn't hit the rim, it doesn't wreck the tire. But anyway. It is muggy today. To help make the car a little easier to get the tire off next time, you definitely want to clean out in here. And you can see we've already cleaned well, all but one. Okay, so this, on an aluminum rim, this is flat, and you got to clean the whole thing. On steel rims, it just has high spots that seat against the rotor. Now, they say that this rusts to the rotor, and that's a problem when it comes to getting the tire off, but I don't see that having just a flat on flat a lot of strength. To me, 99% of why the tire seizes is this inside here where it goes over the rotor. Okay, so to make a point here, you can see these tires are about a little over half life has worn off them. So these tires have been on there for quite a while. So Joe's gonna take it off and we're gonna show you how badly the aluminum sticks to the steel hub. So go ahead, take that wheel off, Joe. Okay, so you notice that wheel did not stick at all. The reason this wheel did not stick is because this inner edge on the older vehicles does not fit tight up against this edge here. So this is the mating surface that the wheel bolts up against. You notice it didn't stick. You can see it's all rusty and there's a little corrosion here, but it didn't stick because that's not where the wheels stick. It's where the center of the wheel is tight onto this. That's where it sticks. That's the only part you need to put anti-seize. You should not ever slime all this with anti-seize, which is basically a lubricant. That's a mating surface. That wheel and that hub want to be tight together with traction. Otherwise, all your stress is on your nuts. And that's really important. So I can't stress enough, do not slather this surface with anti-seize. It does not help anything, and it actually can do harm. If this is steel, it's a steel rim. If I have two pieces of flat plate and I get them soaking wet, and I lay one on top of the other, and I lay them out in the weather for 3-4 years, when I go and pick up the top piece, it does not stick to the bottom piece. But in here, when this rusts, and rust expands, it's bigger than steel, that creates pressure against the wheel, and that's where it seizes. It's got nothing to do with this. The vast majority of your seizing is this part where it goes into the center of the wheel. So we'll clean that up. Put a thin coat. This is copper coat, which is an anti-seize compound. I find this stuff amazing. First time I ran into this stuff, I was changing a pump in a really old pump in a boiler system, and when I pulled the pump off, the gasket just popped right off. Usually you scrape and you scrape and you scrape, and it's a lot of work getting those gaskets off. But that one, it just popped off. I actually thought it was a copper gasket. I was an apprentice, and my journeyman started laughing. He goes, no, that's copper coat. That's what it does. And it works really well. So we're not going to do it on here. We don't want that slippery against the rotor, but we're gonna do just the inside of the, I don't know what you call that. We're just gonna do the inside of the hole. Guys I've seen that do use the anti-seize, they smear it all over. We're not gonna do that. Next thing we're gonna need is we're gonna need some sandcloth to clean up the rotor. But let's get this balanced and get that other tire off.
I like to cover just the hub with a light layer, and then I like to do the same to the lip on the tire. We can take off this tire years from now and it should come off no problem.
Okay.
How was that?
That was good. So this wheel, we put on here last year, and we put anti-seize just around the hub. So Joey's going to take this wheel off and we're going to see how seized it is. And there you have it. Let's see the hub, Joe. As you can see, we didn't slather the brake drum in anti-seize. All we did, you can still, I don't know if that's showing up, it actually has a little copper color there. All we did is on the part that sticks out here, we put anti-seize on that, and same on the wheel. Not only will it save you money on anti-seize, but I really don't think it's safe to put anti-seize all over this. I think this mating surface is meant to have traction to help hold the wheel secure. So That's what I have to say about that.
It's so tiny.
Okay, so as you can see,
It's a baby drum. Sorry, Dad.
That's okay. You could say it again, but what we can't put in is talking over each other.
Well, you can just edit that, right?
Oh yeah, I do.
You want to start that again? Like,
No, yeah, it's still rolling.